sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we need to create some kind of happy path test or regression test. However, it's not always feasible to have these tests as part of our application code. This could be for a number of reasons. Perhaps we are using a third-party service that we are self-hosting, or maybe we have an older application that was written in a different language that does still get some updates, but it's not very often. Or perhaps it's a company policy where you have a QA team that are then running regression tests as well as happy path tests on your application in a stood-up environment. And so in this episode, we're going to look at testing external sites. We are going to be using Ruby and Capybara, and if we run our application with a Ruby and our entry point is called the main.rb, it'll launch a web browser, and from here it's going to run through some tests, and then we'll get our result. And keep in mind that any kind of Selenium or Capybara test or system test, whatever you want to call them, any test that is going to launch the browser and click through is going to be a lot slower than the normal unit tests. But as Ruby developers, we might find ourselves in that situation where we need to write these happy path tests for a product that we are responsible for. And as a disclaimer, it is really important that as we write these kind of tests, that we take a step back and really understand the implications of what we are doing. We are testing a site that has a fully qualified domain name, so it's something that users could access, or it could be some kind of internal staging site. But regardless, we lose a lot of functionality by not running these kind of system tests from the application code. So we're not going to have any kind of database cleanups or anything like that. So you do want to take extra caution as you are creating these tests, meaning that you can run the same test over and over and you're not really going to get different results. So for example, if you add authentication as part of your testing and you're first creating an organization or a user with some static text like john.smith@example.com, well, then you're going to find yourself in the situation that the next time you run the test, it's going to fail because it can't create a user that already exists. So you do want to keep that in mind and approach it slowly, just so you find yourself with reliable tests that you can run over and over without running into those certain cases. And did you know that you can go to railsstore.com to get your own Ruby on Rails t-shirt or your Driftin' Ruby t-shirt? To watch this full episode and more videos, visit driftinruby.com and subscribe to the Pro membership.